You're productive, driven, focused. You probably get more done in one day than most people get done in a week. But when it's finally time to rest, your brain won't shut off. If you're someone who craves better sleep but hates wasting time, you're in the right place. I'm going to walk you through 8 science-backed, time-efficient sleep tips specifically for high performers so you can wind down without feeling like you're falling behind. So, as we dive into these 8 tips, let's start with why this matters. Because the truth is, you probably don't go to bed thinking, I don't need more sleep. I'm fine. For most of us, it's either A, we just don't know how to turn our brain off, or B, we feel like we don't have time. And the truth is, for many of us, when we're high performers, we struggle with sleep because we don't have transition time. We go, go, go all day long. And then we struggle because our nervous system is still stuck in that go mode, so that it's hard for us to actually be able to transition to sleep. You've been solving problems and making decisions and managing people and things all day long. And then suddenly you're supposed to just relax. Without a proper wind down, our brain stays active, our body stays tense, and then our sleep suffers. And here's the truth: sleep isn't a reward, it's a requirement for clarity, for our health, for our relationships, for sustained performance. Sleep impacts so many different areas of life, and many of us feel like, oh, I'm fine because I've gone this long with only getting 4 or 5 or 6 hours of sleep. But the truth is, we know that things are suffering because we're not getting the quality sleep that we need. So if you're constantly tired and scattered and wired at night, hopefully these 8 tips are going to help. So as we dive into these 8 tips, my invitation for you is to be open minded, be curious, and maybe walk away with saying, yes, I am going to try to implement at least one thing. So I'm going to share 8 things. Maybe some of them are helpful, maybe some of them aren't, but be open to trying at least one thing if you know that your sleep is suffering. So, starting with number one, identifying the optimal sleeping time. All of us are different. We have different schedules, we have different chronotypes, we have different needs and responsibilities. And sometimes we are reliant on other people for saying, oh, this is what time I'm going to bed, whether it be your partner or your kids, or maybe it is about what time we have to be at work or other responsibilities. So, my invitation for you is to really be curious and honest with yourself around what is best for you within the things that you can actually control, right? If we have a job that we have to be up at a certain time, or maybe we have a child that has to be up at a certain time, right? Sometimes there's a little bit less control, but with the things that you can control, what is the optimal time that you need to wake up in the morning? And then we work back from there. And so here's the thing. If you are someone who has been consistently getting 4 hours of sleep and you know it's not enough, I can say, hey, you should be getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep. But the truth is, sometimes that's too big of a shift for us. So, my invitation for you is to start small and think about, what time do I need to wake up? And then maybe I just start to work on getting a little bit more sleep. Maybe it's 30 minutes, maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 2 hours. But think about, what time do I actually need to not just wake up, but get up in the morning? So let's just use some simple math. So if we know typically we're not going to sleep until after midnight, and maybe we know it's actually not even like restful sleep, and we're, up and down throughout the night, and it doesn't feel like quality sleep, but we go to bed after midnight and we have to be up by 6 a.m. for work. Okay, so let's just use the simple math. If it's 6 a.m. that we have to get up, and we know that going to bed at midnight does not leave us feeling great in the morning, we say, what would it feel like to maybe push it back just a little bit? Maybe 11 p.m. is where I start. And so think about, what is the time you need to wake up and actually get up, because I know some of y'all are pushing snooze like 8 times and you're not even getting extra quality sleep, and you end up wasting time because you're just laying around in bed. But what time do you actually need to get up in the morning to be able to deal with your responsibilities. Okay. And then work backwards from there, doing some simple math. What time would it be ideal for you to be in bed to fall asleep? Okay. So figuring that out based on what is best for you, what fits into your life, paying attention to what responsibilities you already have. Okay. So first is identifying your optimal sleeping time. And then the second is setting a shutdown alarm. So let's use the time. Okay. So if we say 11 o'clock is when I need to be asleep, then setting a shutdown alarm for ourselves. And that means that we're setting an alarm, maybe 60 to 90 minutes before we actually want to be in bed asleep. For many of us, we're like, oh, I go to bed, at 10 o'clock, but we're scrolling on our phone or doing other things in bed and we're not falling asleep. Or we are trying to go to sleep, but we're tossing and turning and thinking about all the stuff that happened in the day. We know we're not actually getting to sleep. So hopefully some of these tips help lessen the amount of time that you're just in bed tossing and turning when you don't want to be. So then we back it up, right? So let's say we want to be asleep at 11. So then we are setting our bedtime alarm for, let's say, 10 o'clock. So one is figuring out what time do we actually want to be asleep by, and then setting an alarm to actually help us remember it's time to prepare for sleep. And this helps us with setting our intention of saying, now it is time for me to prepare. The next tip is controlling the temperature. Our body thrives better in cool weather when it's time to sleep, right? Our body is able to rest better when the temperature is cooler. And so that means, maybe between 60 to 67. I don't know about you, but it's summer here and it's very hot. And my temperature in my room is a little bit warmer at night. And so I enjoy sleeping with a fan on and a lighter sheet because feeling overheated at night is not going to help us with getting a good night's rest. So figuring out what that temperature is for you based on where you live and what things are within your control and how you can cool down your sleeping environment. So we can also do things like, what you're choosing to wear or not wear to bed, having a cooling mattress pad, all sorts of things. But when we are overly warm, it can negatively impact our sleep. Number 4, light. So when we are preparing for bed, we want to avoid having additional light. And so we start dimming lights when we are ready for that wind down period, right? So an hour-ish before we are trying to be in bed to go to sleep, we start dimming our lights, avoiding those harsh overhead lights, avoiding screens. And if you are going to be on your screen, then having, blue light blockers, but trying to avoid light when it is time for us to prepare for sleep. Number 5 is paying attention to what and when we're eating. And so for most of us, we want to avoid having a meal within 2 to 3 hours of our bedtime. So again, using that math of if we want to be in bed asleep at 11 o'clock, not having any heavy meals, after 8 p.m. If possible, maybe even having it before then. And so thinking about this around what is best for you, knowing your body type, your needs, paying attention to what is going to be best to help you get to sleep and stay asleep. So avoiding alcohol, avoiding caffeine later in the day. If we are someone that knows, hey, if I am not eating later at night, it actually wakes me up because I'm starving in the night, right? Paying attention to the foods that you're eating and making sure it's nothing too heavy close to bedtime. Everything that I teach about and talk about is based in neuroscience, but mindfulness, paying attention on purpose with curiosity and non-judgment. And so everything that I'm sharing with you is an opportunity for you to just be curious with yourself to say, what do I need? What's best for me? Maybe you live in a home with multiple other people. You don't need to have the same exact routine as someone else because what someone else needs to thrive might be different from what you need. So my invitation for you is to pay attention to How do I feel when I eat this food at this time of night? How do I feel when I don't eat, right? How do I feel when it's 6 hours before bedtime? Am I able to sleep? Is my stomach gurgling and super hungry and it keeps me up at night? So paying attention and testing things out, experimenting to say, what is going to work for me? What is going to be helpful for me? And so number 6 is creating time for a brain dump. And so this could be journaling. This could be, actually just thinking about how things went for the day or thinking about, hey, this is something that I have coming up tomorrow or in the next week or month, and it's on my mind right now. I'm just going to write it down. But giving yourself an opportunity to intentionally let go of all of the stuff that's floating around in your brain. Because as high achievers, we often have busy brains. It's not a flaw, right? It's part of our brilliance. So we don't want to think of it as a negative thing that our mind is busy, but we want to work with it. Okay. So that means giving ourselves an opportunity to say, I'm going to let this stuff out, let it go, and intentionally maybe putting it in a journal or putting it into your to-do list for the upcoming day or week, figuring out what's going to work for you to where you can actually let go of some of the thoughts that might be floating around in our brain and interfering with our sleep. Number 7 is create a grounding practice. Okay. So for many people, their nighttime routine involves scrolling on social media or watching TV until they fall asleep on the couch. But that's actually stimulating for the brain and the nervous system. So instead, try things like doing deep breathing. You can do some gentle yoga stretches. I enjoy laying on my PEMF sauna mat every night preparing for bed, and that is really relaxing and calming for me. And then when I actually transition into bed, I do bed yoga and do some stretches and breathing every night. And I do the same thing when I wake up in the morning. But that's what's helpful for me. And so some different things could be putting on that guided meditation. It could be listening to soothing music. It could be red light therapy. It could be reading some fiction. Different things are going to be helpful for different people. Again, invitation for you to test things out and see what works for you. And I'm also going to be doing some additional videos of like guided meditations and things that we can do in bed to help prepare. But right, number 7 is creating a grounding practice. And maybe it's the same thing every night, or maybe you like a little bit more variety and you just pay attention and say, hey, you know what? Tonight I'm going to listen to some relaxing music. I'm going to put on some aromatherapy with some lavender. So thinking about what might be helpful for you and then testing some stuff out. And number 8 is anchoring sleep to something more pleasurable. So that could be maybe you enjoy having some herbal tea before bed. For me, that's just going to make me get up in the middle of the night to have to pee. So I don't enjoy drinking right before bed. You're going to test out what works for you. It could be that you're smelling aromatherapy and that is a helpful uh, transition time for you because you start thinking about, oh, lavender is helping me know that it's time for bed and it becomes something more grounding, more pleasurable. Maybe it's using a weighted blanket or having your bedroom just feel more homey and relaxing, right? Sometimes it is using fluffy pillows and having different colors and things that make it more inviting and pleasurable, and that it doesn't feel like punishment that we have to go to sleep at night. Thinking about sleep as this gift to ourselves because it's actually not a waste of time. It's going to help us be more productive and efficient, get more stuff done during the day because our brains and our bodies are going to be working more optimally. So, again, share these 8 different tips. Hopefully, you try at least one, test it out. Let me know, put a comment, let me know how it goes. And remember why it's important. Yes, lots of folks say we need 7 to 9 hours of sleep. I think that it definitely varies from person to person and different times in our life of what we need. My invitation is you just start to pay more attention to your sleep, how you're feeling throughout the day, right? Some folks, might get 9 hours of sleep, but still feel exhausted and still wake up and need to have caffeine in the morning and in the middle of the day to help them get through, or need sedatives and things to help them go to bed at night. Pay attention to the messages that your body is offering you. Pay attention to the symptoms. Pay attention to see what you might need. Sleep is important for lots of different areas of our life, for our memory, for our mood, for our ability to be able to perform and do the things that we care about doing. Because I know if you are here and following me, it's because you truly care about making a positive impact in the world. So don't think about sleep as a negative thing. And if you are trying all these tips, you're creating a sleep routine, you're trying to be more intentional, and you're still finding that your brain's not shutting off, check out one of our other videos with the meditations and practices that you can do to help you fall asleep or help you stay asleep if you're someone who wakes up in the middle of the night. But I hope it was helpful. Try out at least one thing. Let me know how it goes. Remember that you are amazing. You're here for a reason. Take care of yourself because you are worthy and you matter, and because it impacts how you're able to show up for others. And we're all connected and we're all needed. So keep going out there, doing your part to make the world a better place. Thanks for being here. Bye.